Greetings. My name is Edward Chu, and today I am going to talk more about emotional reclamation. I think life can be a funny thing. On earlier posts, I shared about how tremendously important it is to reclaim our suppressed or repressed emotions. And I'm creating this video here right now because life has created an opportunity for me to give you an authentic and transparent view into my own personal journey of emotional reclamation, a journey to reclaim and integrate my most destructive repressed emotion. When I created the videos I posted a few weeks ago, I believed I had made tremendous progress on reclaiming all of my repressed emotions. And overall, that's true. But recently, I learned that I've overlooked the one core emotion that has shaped so much of my life in a negative way: shame. I told myself I dealt with it. And that was a self lie that allowed my shame to hide while wreaking havoc throughout my life. My entire life, I felt this deep heaviness, this deep pit of despair that felt like a black hole sucking my energy. It was always there to some degree, and it was the primary catalyst for all of my numbing, avoidance, and self-sabotage. Heck, I avoided my shame to such a degree that I didn't even identify it as shame. And that shame I avoided came to light in a group coaching session about 2 weeks ago, comprised of other business leaders and high performers. In that room, nothing is off the table. And the coach facilitators dig into any area of our lives that impacts our ability to lead, connect, and reach our highest potential. This month, I had one of the most challenging experiences in the hot seat. The hot seat is when the coaching facilitator is going one on one with you while the rest of the members watch. Imagine being in a room of leaders you deeply respect as your coach digs into you to excavate and shine a light on that part of yourself that you hide from everybody, even yourself. That's what happened. He brought out my shame by digging right into the core of my shame story. And then he went around to each person in the room and asked them to share what they thought about the catalyst of my shame. So freaking embarrassing. I felt this big, and I so badly wanted to run and hide. But I didn't. I'd been in that hot seat before, and I know that those people around me were sharing what they were sharing to support me, to call me up, to challenge me to take on what I've been avoiding. And today I know this seemingly awful experience is a gift. It's been an invaluable gift that I just wasn't ready to see yet. At the end of the meeting, a dear friend asked me if I'd like to schedule time to talk about this. And I said yes, even though I didn't, because part of me knew that I needed to talk about it. And then I hid. I didn't reach out. I fell right into my pattern, my shame pattern of avoiding, numbing, and self-sabotaging, hiding, creating my very own obstacles, which then self-perpetuated more of my shame. It's crazy. And we all have a flavor of it. Well, I guess you don't know, but I'm telling you that. I don't know, it was about a week later he texted me, Edward, I've been holding a space for you and I don't know what to do with it. My friend wanted to be there to help and support me, and I chose to hide. And that burning shame came alive so very deeply in me. And I'm proud to say I picked the phone up and I called him. And he met me right where I was. I told him how shameful I felt, and there was absolutely no judgment. He empathized and shared about his own version of a similar experience with his core challenging emotion. He shared the actions and work he'd taken that had helped him, and he honored me for my courage to hold my ground in that hot seat. This, this is how we heal our shame. We own it and we talk to it with someone safe. That's non-negotiable. Someone you know is safe. This allows us to see that our biggest fear is shown for the lie it is. We are afraid others will perpetuate our shame and disconnect. And when the opposite happens, when we are loved and feel the care and empathy, healing occurs. The conversation, that conversation we had woke me up. Like it just lit a fire in me. No more avoiding. I created several practices that I am now using routinely. And all of these practices are based on and require self-awareness. That is a key and necessary skill set you must develop if you want to grow and improve. How can you shift your disempowering patterns if you can't see them, if you are unaware of them? I'm sorry, I digress. What are the things that I have committed to doing to process my shame and to break my shame patterns? Well, number one, I notice when I feel shame. And I shift from that old pattern of I am shame to I feel shame right now. I feel it versus I am it. My shame belief, my shame story is that I am flawed, I am deficient, and I am not enough. Can you imagine how much turmoil and havoc that creates in someone's life who believes those things about themselves? Okay, next, I catch myself when I'm about to self-sabotage or create an obstacle. I recognize the stories that shame tells itself to prove it's true. That's one of the ways shame keeps itself alive. And the most important, I process the shame. When I see it, when I feel it in my body, I don't constrict anymore. I breathe and I literally welcome it. Uh, like my body opens and I welcome it and I breathe into that shame feeling. And it's been quite interesting because the flavor of it shifts. It shifted from this heavy, awful energy to a discomfort. And the final thing I'm doing is when I notice that I get present, and from that place of presence, that's where I choose to act from. So I'm now welcoming my shame, fully feeling it and processing it. Why does this matter? And how is my shame story relevant to each and every one of you out there? It's because we all have our own versions of these patterns. For some, it's shame. For others, it's fear or anger. These emotions quietly shape our choices, relationships, and the way we show up in the world. And the hardest part about it, these patterns are almost invisible to us because they feel like this is just who I am. It's like you don't have a choice. And when you actually believe that, you're stuck and it makes it so very difficult to break free. This is why we need mirrors. We need people trained to help us see what we cannot see, name the patterns that hold us back, and guide us toward healthier, freer ways of living. and being. This is the work I do. I help leaders and high performers uncover what drives them, break free from what holds them back, and build the self-leadership required to create a life and impact they're proud of. And if any of this speaks to you, I hope you reach out to me using direct message here on Facebook. I would love to connect and see what's possible for you. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this video. If you did, take care and have a wonderful evening.